Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another video. I am Maya, your interview host for Berkshire Hathaway Home Services here in San Miguel de Allende in central Mexico. And today we're delving into the topic of schools and education in San Miguel de Allende with Carolina Figueroa, a real estate agent from Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, who is also a mother of three. Hi, Caro, welcome.
Hello, Maya. How are you? Well, I am mother of two, and that's more than enough for me. Yeah, I have two kids. Ana Paula is 19, Santiago is 15, and we've been living all their lives here in San Miguel de Allende. So I know a little bit about the schools here.
That's great. I'm excited about today's video. So why don't we just get started? Let's start by talking about the importance of education here in San Miguel de Allende. Tell us, Caro, why is education particularly significant in the context of living in San Miguel de Allende?
Well, back in the 60s and 70s, San Miguel Allende was very attractive for people who were searching a calm life, a peaceful life. We had a lot of people in their 60s, 70 plus, and the arts was making San Miguel so attractive for them. We had Instituto Allende. We have it now. Instituto Allende is still an important part of San Miguel's community and San Miguel's society and San Miguel's education. But back then, it was pretty much all about Instituto Allende. It was all about arts, painting, weaving workshops, stained glass, making rocks. Everything was about that. And education has evolved. And now what we have a lot of offer and a lot of different activities that San Miguel offers today for families. And that is why now our population has changed. And we not only have people coming in their 60s, 70 plus, we now have families coming here to settle with little kids. So education is pretty different, and the offer that San Miguel has today, it's totally different that it was back then.
Of course, yes, it used to be this place for people to retire, and now it's just expanded to families wanting to build their lives here. So thank you for pointing that out. Tell us, Caro, how does education impact the overall community dynamics in this day and age?
Well, as we were mentioning, we are now a community with different age ranges. So I remember when I first came here 21 years ago, it was pretty impossible to find all the activities that kids and young people have today. Today, it's super common to find great installations for activities such as gymnastics, swimming pools, great gyms, soccer fields, pickleball courts, tennis courts. So the offer that San Miguel is bringing to the population, it's just great. You have now several bilingual schools, including kindergarten, elementary schools, junior highs. We already have good universities here in town. A lot of people here in San Miguel, like families like mine, for example, once our kids get to a certain age, especially for college, we just send them out. They go to Querétaro or Guanajuato or Mexico City. But I mean, that's a very common practice in many places in the world, right? As soon as your kids get to that age, they just go. But right now, I would say, kids from 3 years old to maybe 15, 16, they have a great offer of schools here in town. You even have like Montessori schools, more structured schools, religious schools. So San Miguel has something to adapt to every family.
Yes, exactly. It's a very complete education that we can offer here in San Miguel de Allende, not only to families, but also to adults. I think it would be good if we talk a little bit about language learning institutions for people who might not have kids to enroll in a school, but they want to come here to learn Spanish. We could talk a little bit about that, and then we will focus more on schools for kids, more targeted towards families. So can you tell us briefly what makes San Miguel de Allende an attractive destination for language learners?
Sure. The first thing I would mention is that San Miguel people are very used to receive people from different parts of the world. So we are very open, we're very friendly. You are always going to find someone willing to help. And something important, it's like the perfect balance and the perfect mix of people speaking English. So you are not going to be starving. You are going to find a way to communicate and to be able to buy your food or water or whatever you need, because people will understand what you're saying. A lot of people here in town speak English, but at the same time, it's going to be a great balance on the people who are going to make you try and try and try till you get your Spanish. So as scary as it might seem, because we are in Mexico, but San Miguel will welcome you. You're going to find people that is going to understand you, that are going to help you. And pretty soon you're going to feel comfortable in this environment. You are not going to feel like lost, like what I am doing. So as I said, it's going to be like the perfect balance. And then it's a lot of different chances that you're going to find to do it. Of course, we have an academy, a Spanish academy, where you can roll and go and learn Spanish. But there is also plenty of activities. There are also like very social activities to make it fun. So you can find groups of people playing Rummikub in the afternoons, and it's all about Spanish. Or you can find one teacher with a small group at the public library, the Biblioteca Pública, and she will teach a small group there in the afternoon, having a coffee. Of course, you can roll yourself in a more serious environment at school if that's what you need. But whatever your learning process is, or wherever you decide to do, in San Miguel, you're going to find it. So it's a very friendly way to learn another language.
Exactly. I mean, learning a new language is already a very nerve-wracking experience, especially if you don't know anything about the language. It can be stressful. We can get a little bit afraid when trying to communicate. And the fact that people here are not only friendly, but can also speak English just makes the whole process a lot easier, a lot more organic as well. And as you said, we have, you could learn Spanish through other activities, or you can enroll in a more structured academy. We have both options.
Exactly.
Yeah, so now moving on to just regular schools for families who have kids from different ages. What types of regular schools are available here in San Miguel de Allende, Caro?
Well, we have the private schools and we have the public schools. In private school, you have private and public both in all different levels. You can find schools from little kids 2-3 years old till 16, and then you have university, and you have both public and private. Private schools mostly are the ones that offer the bilingual programs. So in my experience, what I've seen is the bilingual programs are organized half time in English, half time of Spanish, which is really good because kids actually get to be immersed in the new language. For the Mexicans to learn English, and for the other students coming from other parts of the world, it's to learn the Spanish. So basically, those are the two kinds of schools that we have now. And now from public and private, you have several things. You can find a kindergarten, the elementary school. You can find, as I was saying, religious schools. You can find more structural. You can find Montessori. There are even small schools that have a system very similar to a homeschool. So you go to a house, there's a teacher, and there are very small groups of students. So as I said at the beginning, depending on how what the needs of your family are, it's what you're going to find here in San Miguel.
Yes, the offer is great. If you're a Spanish speaker or a Mexican who wants to move to San Miguel de Allende, your kids will benefit from this multiculturality that we have in San Miguel. And also, if you come from another country and want your kid to just be bilingual, it's just a great chance because kids are like sponges. They will learn a language really fast. So it goes both ways. It's not only beneficial for foreigners to learn Spanish, but also for Spanish speakers to improve their English. And I think that's amazing, especially for kids.
Yeah,
Now, Caro, can you provide examples of a few specific schools and what distinguishes them from one another?
Yes, for example, the one I know very, very well, it's Vasconcelos School, Jose Vasconcelos, which is the school where my kids went their whole life. That's a bilingual school, and the structure is, as I was just saying, half the day it's Spanish, half the day is in English. They receive students from all over the world, which is pretty interesting because they don't just learn the language, but they learn about other cultures. So it was super common in my house on Fridays to have kids, the friends of my kids, to come over and to have lunch in my table of different nationalities. And they were speaking in Spanish and in English, and then they will go back. And then the American boy was speaking in Spanish, and my son was answering back in English. So it's a very fun dynamic that it's the best example to say what I was saying before about how you just get immersed in the culture. So from 1 minute to the other one, you're just speaking the language you thought it was going to be super difficult for you. And you just get used to hear it, to start speaking. You are not scared anymore, and it's just part of your routine. It just becomes part of your everyday life. It comes natural, like organic, as you were saying. So Vasconcelos is like 43, 44 years old here in San Miguel. So it has a very good name, a really good reputation, and they have had to reinvent it themselves with time, right? We have received other schools, for example, the Nuland School that comes from bigger city, which is Querétaro. It is like a franchise school. And now they are here in San Miguel, and there are several examples. If people are thinking of relocation and to come settle here in San Miguel, they can contact me and we can have a Zoom conversation, and I'll be glad to go through the different kind of schools that we have here in San Miguel. But these two to me are like very representative, and it's super good that we have this kind of education here in San Miguel. It's really high quality education. My kids, both of them, are now studying in Querétaro. They passed their exam at this prestigious school, Tec de Monterrey, with no issues, and they spend their whole life studying here in San Miguel de Allende, and they have no issues applying for these exams with other kids, other students coming from other parts of Mexico with bigger schools than theirs and maybe with a bigger name than theirs. And the education they received was high quality education. So we just feel happy and proud of the education our kids got. And now they are in another place flying with their own wings. But it's because of the basis they got here in San Miguel de Allende.
Exactly, well said. San Miguel definitely has a good foundation when it comes to education. And I want to thank you for offering our viewers your help. We will make sure to leave your contact information on the description box below so that they can reach out if they need anything regarding schools or life in San Miguel de Allende. Let's talk a little bit more, Caro, about bilingual schools. We already discussed how bilingual San Miguel de Allende is, but let's just dig a little bit deeper in this topic. What options exist for bilingual education in San Miguel de Allende, apart from the ones you already mentioned, Vasconcelos, Newland? Do you know of any others where other options you could present to our viewers?
Well, yes, I know there is, for example, Escuela Naciones Unidas, which the system is pretty much the same. There is another school that it's called Atabal. It is a bilingual school. Their system, it's a little more like a Montessori school. I am not sure if it's fully Montessori, but kindergarten is. I'm not sure if elementary school is 100% Montessori, but yes, it's different. And there's another school that it's called Charcos. That's a very free school. It's bilingual, but everything it's in activities. They spend a lot of time outdoors. They have a little farm, and while students are like harvesting carrots or things like that, they are having conversations and their lessons. It's more like an outdoor educational learning process.
Yeah, so I think there is an option for everyone. If some families don't feel comfortable with the regular schooling system, there are like other options, as you mentioned, Atabal, Charcos, and they're all bilingual. So language is really not a problem if what you're looking for is to move down here with your family.
Exactly.
Caro, let's move on and talk a little bit about how to integrate into the school system, like the process of integrating one's kids into the school system. What advice do you have for families considering a move to San Miguel de Allende in terms of integrating into the school system?
Well, the first thing I would say is if you're thinking about it, just go for it. I mean, don't be afraid. San Miguel is going to welcome you. San Miguel is prepared to welcome you. We are just their people, their commerce, everything here. It's just prepared to receive new families and new people coming here into town. We are always going to welcome you, and you are going to find your spot and your place in here. As I was saying, we are the perfect mix and the perfect balance of bilingual people, bilingual locals. And also, you are going to find a really good community and a very nice community of people like you, of people that 5 years ago or 10 years ago or 2 years ago were in your same chair thinking about what you're thinking right now. Should I do it? Should I don't? What's going to happen? My kids, are they going to integrate themselves? And right now you can sit and talk to these people, and they are going to tell you it's the best decision I've made in my life. San Miguel, it's a very nice place to raise kids. It's very safe. People are very friendly. Kids can be kids. And there are plenty of activities where they are going to get the language like this. Inside the classroom, at the beginning, it's going to be a little challenging for them, especially during the Spanish lessons, because they are going to have their grammar book and their vocabulary book and their spelling book, everything in Spanish. So yeah, the first week it's going to be very challenging for them. But the good news is that they are going to have a great support net to catch them, to help them. And teachers in most of these schools that I was mentioning before, Maya, are really used and are trained and are prepared to receive these kids. So, of course, the intention and the goal is to have these kids speaking Spanish and understanding Spanish, but they are going to be very patient, and they are going to be Well, yes, patient with their homeworks and with the tasks, and they know these little kids are not going to have a Spanish dictation the first day of school. So because of all these reasons, San Miguel is a really good place for this. Teachers are just used to it, and they know how to do it, and they know how to integrate to their classroom these new kids. So my advice will be just go for it. And again, if you need me to contact you to families that have been in your same chair years before you, I'll be happy to do that.
Thank you so much, Caro. That's so nice of you. And I love that you say that teachers are prepared, and not only teachers, the whole community is prepared. It is city that welcomes foreigners all the time. So you are not the exception. People here have done what you did before, as Caro was saying. It's just a matter of doing it if that's something you feel it's best for you, right? So thank you so much for sharing this and letting our viewers know that they can count on not only teachers, but a whole community to care for them, their kids, and have a great lifestyle here. Could you just share with us, I don't know if you have any other advice for families, or if you want to share some common challenges that families would face when moving to San Miguel de Allende, and expand a little bit on that. I don't know if you have anything more you would like to mention.
Well, yes. The most difficult part is language, especially when they are inside a classroom. For parents, sometimes it is not as challenging because in their everyday routine at their home office, they still speak English. And when they go out for groceries or to a restaurant, they will find someone that will help them in their English to communicate. But the main challenge that I've seen is with the little kids inside the classroom listening to a Spanish teacher. It's like, okay, I got like the hola, and that's it, right? But my best advice would be, as soon as you come here, make your routine like the one you have wherever you live, and put your kids into all their classes. If your son plays soccer, put him in the soccer team. If your daughter plays piano, put her in a piano lesson with a Mexican teacher. So making your kids having their routine, exploring something new, a sport, an activity, if they paint or whatever they do, with the Spanish, with a native speaker, it's going to help them a lot. And they are going to be learning without thinking they are learning. They are not going to have a pencil in their hands or a notebook or a workbook where they have to be filling in. They are going to be living their lives. And in that way, they are going to be getting the language. And I've seen in that, as I was mentioning with example of my lunch table on Fridays at my house, it is really funny. At some point, moms just are like, oh, he's speaking Spanish. You are at a party or something, and you are not that aware on how your kids are getting the language. So just get your routine, put them in all the activities they are used to, and don't be afraid. That would be my best advice. Don't be afraid. They will get it.
Yeah, that's great advice. And kids definitely learn languages in a very different way, and I think it's easier for them. And as you said, there are tons of after-school activities that you can enroll your kids to, and just be very calm that they will eventually be speaking Spanish and they won't have any problem getting by. So thank you for that advice. I think it's super helpful. And this conversation has been great, Caro. We talked about the importance of education in San Miguel de Allende, and some of the language learning institutions for adults, but also about regular schools for families who want to bring their kids here to San Miguel de Allende. We focused more on bilingual schools and what's the best way to make that move to come with your family to San Miguel de Allende. So definitely contacting someone who has done the same thing is very helpful. We will make sure to leave Carolina's information below in case you're interested in reaching out. And well, Caro, before we say goodbye, do you have any personal experiences or anecdotes about moving to San Miguel de Allende and entering the school system here that you'd like to share with our viewers?
I was born and raised in Mexico City, and I attended my whole life to a school that had a very similar structure and program like Vasconcelos here in San Miguel. And when I first came into Vasconcelos, I saw the school and very nice and small groups. The groups are about like 24 students. That's the top. And it's only one group per grade. In my school, we were like 3 or 4 groups per grade. So my school was bigger. Of course, Mexico City, it's a bigger city, right? But when I first came, I saw a book. This is 21 years ago. I saw a book that I had used when I was like in 6th grade or so. And it was really like a signal to me that Vasconcelos was the school because they had the Scott Forestman program, which is the same program that I had in my school in Mexico City. So in that minute, like everything just connected, everything just makes sense. And my kids learn English with the same Scott Forestman books that I use as a kid. So it was just nice. And it's an example on how even San Miguel being a small city, it has these high quality programs and system and structure, and it will provide your kids with an excellent education. You don't have to have any doubts on that. San Miguel will provide a really high quality in education, in life, in friends, in values. So it's a great place just to learn Spanish, just to live and to create community and to create friends, of course. But it's a great place to raise kids. I really like, and I am really proud. I raised mine as San Miguelenses.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing that, Caro. I think that's the best way to go about it. Just to come down here, check out schools. People will get a feel for each school. Like in your case, you just saw this book and you knew this was the one. This was the school I want my kids to go to. So I think that's the first step, to just come down here. Don't be afraid. Check out schools. Talk to the principals. Talk to community members who have done the same, and you should be fine because San Miguel de Allende is prepared for you viewers. So thank you so much, Caro. And well, viewers, we want to hear from you. So please comment below with your experiences or thoughts about the schools and the education system here in San Miguel de Allende. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more valuable content. And thank you so much for watching. Thank you again, Caro, for being here with us today.
Gracias, Maya. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Take care.